Last week, I shared with you 5 tips for how you can pull yourself out of a bad day or turn things around when you're not feeling your best. This week, I want to share 5 more tools that can be helpful. As a reminder, this advice is not meant to be a substitution for therapy. If you're feeling especially bad or if you're having any thoughts of self-harm, please seek help from a licensed therapist. So let's get started. Number 1, sleeping. Too little sleep causes stress levels to increase. Feeling stressed can cause sleep deprivation. It's a really terrible catch-22. Plus, being tired depletes you of the energy that you may need to proactively and positively deal with a down day. Improving the quantity and quality of your sleep is not a short-term solution, but it is an important piece of the feel-good puzzle. There are a lot of things you can do to improve your relationship with sleep. Stick to a schedule, cut back on caffeine or eliminate it entirely. Don't take naps, get exercise, meditate. That said, as a recovering insomniac myself, I know that it's not always as simple as it may seem to get more sleep. If you've tried all those tricks and more and it's still not helping, then you may want to talk to your physician or seek out help from a therapist. Number 2, gratitude. When you are down, it's easy to get singularly focused on scarcity. You start to think only about what you don't have, what's missing, what you wish would come along to help you change your circumstances. As always, I'm never an advocate for ignoring any feelings, pushing them down, or beating yourself up for having them. In truth, there could be some very real deficiencies that are rightfully causing you to feel anger and frustration. If, though, you get to a place where you would like to do some work to shift out of scarcity and into abundance, then gratitude work can be a real game changer. The first step is just to list out everything for which you have to be grateful. As an example, I'm in my office and I can look around and quickly see at least 100 things that I could write down and find gratitude for. To take it a step further though, I think it's really beneficial to think about how you can express or show your gratitude. Write a thank you note. Send a text to your friend showing some appreciation. Send your mom a gift. Taking action and including others in your gratitude process is almost always more powerful than simply expressing gratitude alone by writing things down. But please, only do gratitude work if it feels good. It doesn't work if you force it but don't really mean it. And it definitely doesn't work if someone else is using it as a weapon against you. And I've done quite a bit around weaponized gratitude, so I will share some information in the links for you if you'd like to check that out. Number 3, forgiveness. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. I believe the first person to say that was St. Augustine, although it's been said many times in many ways by countless people. Hopefully you recognize that holding on to anger isn't healthy, and I mean that literally. Studies have found that forgiveness is associated with lower levels of depression and anxiety, reduced substance abuse, higher self-esteem, and greater life satisfaction. There is nothing about forgiveness work that is easy, but it is pretty simple. There are 2 parts. First, making the choice to let go of the hurt, and second, actively stopping the rumination on those negative feelings. The second part is obviously more difficult. It takes time and it takes practice, meaning doing it again and again and again, actively making a different choice each time the feelings come up. Withholding forgiveness, whether that's for others or forgiveness of self, keeps alive all of the anger and hurt. Doing the work to let go of that can free you from the stress and the pain. Of course, you cannot forgive before you're ready, so don't beat yourself up if the time isn't yet right. Number 4, talking. Suffering in silence is lonely, and many of our emotions multiply when they exist only in the dark. Shedding light on them can sometimes help them dissipate. When you feel down, chances are really good that you want to be seen, heard, and loved, even if you're not ready to admit that to yourself. Having your feelings witnessed, validated, and having yourself loved on can be healing and empowering. Just look at the Me Too movement and how transformative that was for so many people to see themselves reflected in others. It means so much to know that you're not alone. If you're not yet ready to confide in a friend or seek out therapy, witness for yourself by writing down your feelings in a journal. If you're ready, the next step would be then to validate those feelings for yourself by writing next to each one some form of course you feel this way, or it's normal to have those feelings. And finally, you can love on yourself by saying or writing down, I love you, next to each of those statements. Number 5, connection. We've all heard that it takes a village. And even so, modern living has become incredibly isolated. So many of us go through our days interacting with very few people, and rarely or never having meaningful conversations. I recently shared a post on TikTok talking about how difficult it is to make friends and that doesn't get shared often enough. The post exploded and now has something like 80,000 views and more than 1,000 comments. I was blown away, although I shouldn't be surprised, to hear how many people feel like they have few or no true friends. After all, I often feel like one of those people. And that is such a problem because connecting with others is a really important tool for emotional regulation. Being part of community is a basic human need, yet many or maybe even most of us aren't having that basic need met. And that only makes a bad day worse. Find yourself a group of like-minded people who are dedicated to personal growth. They can be your support system when you need to be witnessed, validated, and loved. And you can return the favor by being there for them when they need the same. If you aren't sure where to start, consider the Gutsy Boss Club. That's my membership community for women, femmes, and thems who are ready to unlearn patriarchal conditioning and redefine success on their own terms. It's an intimate and supportive space where you'll always have a community ready to help you navigate the highs and lows of being a normal human. I hope these tips were helpful, and I'd love to hear from you what tools you use that I didn't talk about that help you navigate the ups and downs of living. Share yours in the comments.